Get ready to get sticky. Sticky Situations is sponsored by Corona Crush. Corona Crush is creating Jewish couples always. Join the Facebook group. Just search Corona Crush and look out for virtual speed dating events happening every other week. They're 100% free and 100% Jewish.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Sticky Situations. I'm your host, Rachel, which obviously you already know because I'm unforgettable. Everyone, whatever platform you are listening on right now, if you're not already following or subscribed, go press that follow or subscribe button. Give us a 5-star rating and a glowing review. Nice reviews only, please. Oh, also leave us a comment. I want to see your comments. I'll respond to them. I promise. As long as I see them. But yeah, I want to go ahead and leave us a comment. Good, bad, whatever you want. Well, actually, preferably not bad. But yeah, leave us a comment. Also, go follow Sticky Situations Pod on Instagram. Go follow Sticky Situations Pod on TikTok. If you would like to be a guest on my podcast, I'm always looking for more guests and I would love to hear from you. So please, there are applications in all my Corona Crush posts, or you can send me a DM on Instagram at Sticky Situations Pod, or send me an email at stickysituationspod@gmail.com. Same goes for if you want to date any of my single guests. I'm really going to try to matchmake people, including myself, but we'll get to that in a second. So if someone who says that they are single comes on and you're like, wow, this person sounds great. This person sounds like they could be for me or my friend or someone else I know, send me a message. I'll try to help you. I'll try to set it up. I don't make any promises, but I will always try. Also, I'm marketing myself. I'm single and I am ready to get married. I need to get married this year. Guys, we're almost at 100 episodes, and I thought maybe my 100th would be my husband reveal, but probably not. But you know what? It could be after 100 because whatever, we do things differently. So I'm asking Sticky Situation Nation to help me find a husband. If you, the listener, think that you might be a good match for me, or if any of you listeners have friends, cousins, brothers, sons, grandsons, nephews, second cousins, I don't know, literally anyone. I have a new segment at the end with all my single guests, so I will also give what I'm looking for, but also we're 90 something episodes in, so you guys know me pretty well by now. So we're marketing this. I want to get married. I will give you shadchanas, don't worry, and I will also invite you to my wedding, and that will be the most coveted invitation of the year. So I'm just saying that, not even of the year, of like the century. So people still talk about my bat mitzvah, FYI. So yeah, you want to be a part of that. So yeah, hook a girl up. Send me a DM on Instagram at Sticky Situations Pod, or send me an email at stickysituationspod@gmail.com. Okay, let's get into the episode. I have an extra special guest today. Please welcome my friend Basi. Basi, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, pleasure to be here.
Of course, I'm so excited.
Me too.
Okay, so Basi, before we get into your stories and the episode, can you tell me and my listeners just some basic things about yourself, your age, location, relationship status, and religious denomination?
Yes, absolutely. So I am 24 years old. I am living in New York City, not from here originally, but in New York City. And I am single and ready to pringle.
We'll get to what Bossy's looking for at the end. So, guys, listen, get her personality. If you're interested, you can reach out.
Religious denomination, I think I'm unorthodox, probably middle of the road.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've been listening to this podcast for a while, so I'm very excited to dive on in.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you here. So, let's get into it. Do you want to start with a story?
Yeah, sure. So, funnily enough, so I had it written in my notes to say the story, and then more happened this week,
Oh
like
my
2 days
gosh.
ago. And I'm like, whoa, I have to say this. So it happened earlier this year in August. I went out with someone and I'd been at a Shabbos meal. After Shabbos, they texted me saying, will you go out with my roommate such and such who was at the Shabbos meal? I'm like, you know what? Sure, why not? It was loud, but why not? So we went out and he was a very interesting guy. It was like he was talking to me. He was talking at me like a tour guide instead of talking to me. And in the very beginning of the date, he pulls out his phone and he goes like he moves it over to like in front of his head and then he quickly snapped a selfie. And I said, "Excuse me?" You didn't ask permission. What do you think?
What?
Why are you taking a selfie?
You were in the selfie?
Yes, it was of me and him. And like later he sent it to me, and I was just making this face. I was so confused why he was taking a selfie without asking me. But he
That's
took a
so weird.
selfie, and I said, What? Why are you taking a selfie?" I was very startled. Didn't like that. Don't like surprises. And he says, "So that in 20 years from now, we could look back on our first date." And this was in the beginning of the date. And it was so weird. And whatever, so we continued with the date, and then we were playing Jewish geography, and he said what Jewish school he went to. And it was a big modern Orthodox school in New Jersey. So, of course, I knew people who went there. And I said, "Do you know my friend from college, such and such? She's my very close friend." And he said, "Yeah, I do know her. We went to high school together. I'm friends with her too." I'm like, "Oh, a friend of blank is a friend of mine. That's great. That's a green flag." He says that he's friends with her. And then this is when it got really weird because then he started bashing her family. And
What?
I had said that I was close friends with her, so shouldn't he know not to bash her family? But he says, "Didn't you know that? Did she ever tell you that her sister is currently dating this loser, this schmuck?" And I said, "No, actually, I speak with her very regularly. I see her a few times a week, and she's never once brought the subject up." So you would think that would be a cue to not continue, but he continues and he goes on about how in this family and his Jewish community in New Jersey, he hears the family yelling at each other and all these terrible things. And it was just very uncomfortable. I didn't need to know that information, but whatever. So then the date went on. Nothing too crazy happened, but I just wasn't so into it. And then afterwards, I wasn't sure if I should go out again. So I immediately texted my good friend who I had brought up on the date. And I said, "Oh, I went out with someone who went to high school with you. Want to chat about it?" She's like, "Of course. I speak with her on the phone regularly." So yeah, we chatted on the phone. And she was telling me, she said, "I also went out with this guy a few months ago." And I said, "He said he was really good friends with you." And she says, "I wouldn't say that." Um, but so then she went out with him a few times and he was interesting guy. Apparently he's in a big rush to get married because his younger brother, so we're 24 and his younger brother's 21, and he flipped out, got really yeshivish, and he got married at 21. So he was telling my friend on the date saying, "Yeah, I feel so much pressure to get married because you don't understand how it feels when you have a little brother who's 3 years younger and he's married and you're not." And my friend said that she had said to him, "Are you trying to guilt me into marrying you? Like
What?
what are you saying?" So it's pretty funny. And then ironically enough, my friend says, "Oh, I've been meaning to tell you this, but I never told you. My sister's dating this guy I really don't like. Did I've never mentioned that to you, have I?" And I said, "No, you didn't mention it to me, but actually this morning on the date, the guy mentioned it." And she was really, really upset. And she said, "Never go out with him again. That's inappropriate. I was never friends with him, maybe a little friendly, but it's inappropriate for him to be talking about my family like that behind my back, especially on a first date with someone." And
Yeah.
so, okay, so I told him I'm not going to go out again. I don't think it's a good idea. Then the story continues.
Oh gosh.
Okay, about 3 months later, I was talking to a different friend, and she said was telling her different dating stories, and she said, "Yeah, there was this guy, we went on a date, and then a bird pooped on our heads." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. And who was the guy?" And she says who the guy was, and I said, "Oh, I went out with him. When did you go out with him?" And she had gone out with him a week after I went out with him.
Oh wow.
And so that's 3 friends so far that he went out with. And so then I texted the first friend, the one who he was bashing her family, and I said, "Blank blank, who we also went to college with, she just went out with the same guy." And she said, "No way. 3 of my friends also just told me they went out with him too."
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so then the funniest thing is this guy was very much off. He would talk a lot and not really listen, more like he said his dream job was to be a tour guide at a certain museum in New York. And
Interesting.
I really felt that because he was just talking at me and just talking and not listening. Um, like a bit arrogant, and he also wasn't working, which no judgment at all. It's a really tough economy, tough job market, but I just didn't like the idea that he was dating full time and not working. So that was like his main activity.
Yeah, that's That's a lot.
Yeah, and I again, I have no judgment towards people who are out of work. I know it's really hard out there, but I don't think it's a great time to be dating,
Yeah.
maybe. That's my opinion. And
No, I agree.
what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, listen, at 24, maybe I was a little more open-minded to that because people were still in school, people were doing things, but I'm 32 and like I get it. People like the economy is terrible, people lose jobs, like things happen, and I'm not saying that, but I think it's not I know even for myself, like when I was looking for a new job, like that I was stressed and like it was not a good time for me to date. And I was still employed. Like Leah and Hara, like I was still employed and I was looking for a new job, but looking for a new job takes up so much of your emotional energy and time. And yeah, also, I don't know, at my age now, at 32, if a guy's not financially stable, I'm not dating him. I was at dinner the other night with a few of my home friends. We're all married. And the waiter, my friend was like, "Oh, Rachel, the waiter's cute." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "I'm 32." I no hate against waiters. Like I appreciate people working hard. It's just not compatible for me to date. I'm like, I need someone with a high six-figure salary, like not a waiter.
I absolutely agree. Maybe because I'm 24, I feel like it doesn't have to be in the high six figures, but
When I say high six figures, I just mean like more than 100,000. You can't live on $100,000 in New York City.
right. I also don't plan to settle down here, partly because
Same.
it's so expensive.
Same.
But we'll
But
see.
meaning like I want someone with like a good competitive career and established in their career because that's where I'm at and I need someone who's at my
I
level.
totally agree. I want someone hardworking who's not just gonna mooch off me. And
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, so this guy is such a funny guy. And so my friend, the third one he went out with, so she said that she works and she said, I'm not available to go out until Thursday. And it was Monday. And he goes, I can't wait until Thursday. I really am so excited. I can't wait until Thursday. Let's go out tomorrow. And she goes, no,
What?
actually, I have the evening shift at work and I can't go out tomorrow. You're gonna have to wait until Thursday. And
Wait, this was Monday that she said that?
yeah,
For thir That's crazy.
I agree.
Like what the heck? People are busy. My weeks are booked. Like
Yeah, and he also just I saw this with me, but I heard about it from my friends too, that he over texted a lot, so he just sent really long messages and never stopped texting. And what's so funny is that literally 2 days ago. So this all happened months and months and months ago. Literally 2 days ago, I have some roommates. So my roommate was making this soup, this mushroom barley meat soup. And she said, oh, I have this soup. Would you like some? And I said, yeah. So I was eating the soup. So this tastes so good. Where'd it come from? And she goes, oh, this guy I went out with 3 dates with. He gave me the soup and he was very obsessed with me. And so then we're talking about who the guy was. And she said where he went to school, where he was from. And I said, it's not blank blank, is it? And she goes, it is. How did you know? Like,
oh
oh
my gosh.
no. So
Is this guy gotten around the entire community?
I think so. I heard from her that he recently started working. So that's good because that was in August and it's currently March. So that's
Yeah.
okay. So he's working now. But yeah, I think he's going around the whole neighborhood because we're all different people. We look different, different heights, different faces, different personalities, different ashkafas, different careers. And it seems like he doesn't have a specific type.
He's just obsessed with getting married.
Yeah, it's just anyone in my age range, like 22 to 25. He's just going out with all of them.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And he's also very obsessive about it. Like the first when I went out with him, I only gave him one date, but he when I was walking to the place we went, it was like a little dairy restaurant on this street close by in our neighborhood. And I walked in, he looked me up and down, he's like, you look good. And I'm just like, hey, it's nice
It's
to be
like,
complimented, but it was a bit creepy because I don't really know him and was jumping the gun a
yeah.
little bit.
There's like tactful ways of saying that. You could be like, oh, you look really pretty.
Yeah.
Like, not looking you up and down and go, oh, you look good.
Yeah, that's what he
Like,
did.
obviously that's a compliment, but like, there are better ways to say it.
Yeah, and he also didn't have good boundaries. In addition to not stopping the texting, he also kept touching me on the date and like he didn't ask permission. He's like, "Oh, do you like it when I touch you?" And I'm like, "No, actually not on the first date. No." Um, so that was that guy. But it's just pretty funny because it's been like 7 months and I just found out 2 days ago that he had gone out on 3 dates with my roommate very recently.
That's so funny. He like is gonna work his way around the neighborhood in less than a year.
Yeah, so like that's at least 6 people because that's me, the first friend, then the second friend, my roommate, 4 people. Oh, and then seven because one of them said that he had gone out with 3 of her friends from
Oh my gosh.
this year. So that's at least 7 people in the past 8 months.
That's crazy.
And there's more. There must be more. That's the
Oh, there
thing.
has to be. Also, if he the probably the reason why he couldn't wait till Thursday is because he's trying to set up a date every day of the week.
Probably.
Like, that's what I don't like. I actually recently went out with a guy like this who I don't at first I was like, "Oh, he really likes me and he's just really into me." And then I was like, "No, he's just like socially off and like obsessed with getting married, but in a socially off way. Like obsessive about it."
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
any girl who's gonna give him the time of the day is gonna be his perfect girl.
Yeah, it's true. And like my roommate had said that on the second date, she said, "Oh, we have to wait a week because after the second date because I'm going home to Florida." And I said and then he responded to her and he said, "Oh, my girlfriend's going off to Florida." And she said, "It's a second date. What do you mean? Like what?" And he goes, "I tend to move fast. That's just the way I do things."
No, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's like so off. I don't like that at all.
So weird. Yeah, so that's that guy.
He sounds off. He's probably like, listen, we wish people the best, but also he's probably gonna stay single for a long time.
I agree, and I hope everyone finds the right person, but I think that he particularly has some work to do before that happens.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just like very off-putting. When you can tell that a guy doesn't even really like you, he's just obsessed with getting married, like it's off-putting.
Yeah, especially when the person doesn't have, when you see that the guy doesn't have much to offer in a
Yeah.
marriage, then it's like, what's going on?
Yeah. Oh my God. I feel like I dated him, but like 10 years older. Like a couple months ago.
Oh, what was your story?
No, I just like I went out with this guy. I was set up with him. I thought he really liked me. I wasn't like so into him. I was neutral. But then things got like really he started talking like really futuristic and I'm like we've only been on 2 dates. It was also like semi long distance and like so we had a few video calls but we only went on 2 in-person dates. And I'm just like well like he was talking about getting a new job and he got a job offer and it was like I was like, "Oh, so it's like something like you have to think about." And he's like, "If we were married, it would be a no-brainer." And I was like, "Um, excuse me?" I'm like, "We've been on 2 dates." And I literally had to tell him I was like, "We've only been on 2 dates. You should not take me into any consideration in any of your plans." Also, at that point, I think I knew I was going to end things, but I was just like, "You like no."
Totally.
And then he like kept doubling down on it and I was like, I can't remember the point that I realized he was just obsessed with getting married and he wasn't actually that into me, but it was like crazy. And then I gave him like so many signs that I was gonna end things. And then immediately he gets on the call and he's like, "Yeah," and mind you, we'd only been on 2 dates. And he's like, "Yeah, so like me coming on a Sunday is fine, but like I know you don't want to do like it's too early to do Shabbos together, but I think it would be good for me to come for Shabbos." And I was like, what? Like, how are you coming for Shabbos? I
Shabbos?
was like confused. Also, he wasn't like so religious. And I was like, you don't keep Shabbos. You're not staying in my apartment. Like, we had barely touched. I'm like, you're not staying in my apartment. Like, what?
Want to stay in your apartment?
I don't know. He's like, I wouldn't ask to stay in your apartment. And I'm like, what are you even saying?
It's crossing a huge boundary.
Yeah, I don't know. I was really confused. Also, the one we went on two dates. One was like a quick like first date type of thing. He was like in this he didn't live in New York City, but he was in the city for the weekend, so we like met up. And then the second date, I didn't know that he planned an all-day date.
An
Which he
all-day date?
he did not plan it. I was like, I told him I was meeting my friends for dinner, and I was like, I need to be on a train at 5:30 to meet my friends. And he was like, okay, do you want to meet at like noon? And I'm like, great. Me, I'm thinking like, okay, we'll spend a couple hours, then I'll go home, have some downtime, and then go back to the train. No. And also like he didn't plan anything. He's like, oh, do you want to go to like the Bryant Park Winter Market?
I
This was
hate
in
it
the
when there's
fall.
no plan. I hate it
This
when there's
was in
no
the
plan.
fall. So he's like, oh, do you want to go to like Bryant Park Winter Village? And I'm like, cool. But like, how long can you realistically walk around Bryant Park? Also, it was a Sunday and it was crowded and like,
Yeah.
I don't like being in crowds. Like, literally, the worst in me comes out when I'm like stuck in crowds. And that was his whole plan. And then I had to figure out stuff to do until 5:30 when I was like, I gotta go to Penn Station. And I'm like, what the heck was this? I wanted to go home.
I'm sure it's also really hard to have a conversation with someone when you're yelling over a crowd.
Yeah, and we're like walking and then we sat, but I'm like, my toes are frozen. It's cold out. And we ended up like, I was like, okay, I just wanted to go inside and he had no plan. So we went like to the library and then we ended up walking up like Fifth Avenue up to like all the way to the Apple store and just sat in there. And I'm like, I could be at home right now, sitting on my couch, watching TV.
Wow.
I really but yeah, no, I realized he was obsessed with getting married. He didn't actually really like
What's
me.
really interesting is that, so I've actually gone out with a few guys like that. Some of them, like people who rush into things way too quickly, and some of them are just very clearly obsessed with getting married, and some of them just become very obsessed with me. And I think it's really ironic because there's a stereotype the woman is the one who's pushing for the ring, and the guy's taking his time, and the woman's the one pushing and saying, let's get married immediately. But I found that sometimes the guy is the one who's jumping the gun, and I'm trying to see if there's chemistry or if practically it could work or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's the guy who's like, keeps bringing up marriage for a second date.
Yeah. I mean, first second date is like really soon.
That's my point. Yeah.
I had that in the with the last guy I dated. I dated him for a little while. I already talked about him on the podcast. But like by like the fourth or no, maybe it was like the fifth or sixth date, he was like he was like trying to push me to like use boyfriend girlfriend and I'm like, "What?" Like eh, and like I'm very modern. Like maybe in more religious circles, like things move faster and by like a sixth date you're talking about getting engaged, but like in my world, I'm like okay, like we're dating. I'm not seeing other people, but like it's just like too much.
I realized I forgot to mention part of the story
Oh
from
gosh.
the guy.
Let's
Okay.
hear it.
So remember I said that he went out on all of these different people, all my friends.
Yeah.
So I had asked all of them, did he take a selfie with you? And they had said, yeah, he took a selfie with me on the first or second date. So this guy must just have an album
Oh my God.
of all the girls he's gone out with.
That's crazy. He probably does. It's funny. Actually, my ex-boyfriend he's like asked if we could take a selfie on our first date.
Oh, so he did it. And you
He,
went out with him again and you dated him.
yeah, but he asked my permission. He wasn't just like pulled out and it was like at the end of the date.
Okay.
And like, yeah, we dated for almost 6 months. But I still don't have the picture. I don't think he ever sent that to me.
The guy sent it to me and I was just like scowling, like, why are you taking a picture of me?
No, I agree.
It was
It's
very great.
weird. Like, I thought it was a little weird when my ex did it, but I was like, oh, this could be cute, like if we get married.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, now I kind of wish I had it for the memes, but the
right.
memories.
Totally. Ready for another story?
Yeah,
Okay, this
let's do it.
guy, this is a long story because this guy was
Oh no.
a little nutty. So, so there was this guy, met on some dating app. He had a lot of red flags. I should have caught it earlier, but every time he did something crazy, I would say to myself, oh, he's the child of two immigrants. One's British, one's Israeli. It must just be a cultural difference. But then the more it went on, the more I realized this is not a cultural difference. So we talked on the phone originally. We had a whole conversation for like half an hour. Okay, whatever. He was a bit quirky, kept on saying like, I need to figure out the slice of life and get the full flavor of things, the flavor of the mood, the flavor of the moment. He was using all these phrases that aren't English, even though I said, is English your first language? And he said, yes. I'm like, okay, where have you lived your whole life? Are you an immigrant from England or Israel, or whatever? No, he was born and raised in Flatbush. He just acts a little different, it seems.
So weird.
Never lived anywhere besides Brooklyn. So we talked on the phone, and then he's like, "Will you go on a date?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not?" I was pretty open-minded at the time, still am, but I was more flexible then. And so we arranged to go on a date on a certain day, and then he kept sending me these long messages. And I had agreed to give him, what, 2 hours of my time when I scheduled to go on a date with him. I didn't mean to give him all my time of my day. I'm working and I'm seeing these long messages constantly. He's just going on, saying all these odd things, like obsessing about me, all these weird things. And then he says, want to FaceTime and we could plan the date. And I'm like, first of all, I don't want to FaceTime. Second of all, it's your job to plan the date. I didn't say this, but I said, I'd rather not. We're going to see each other in 2 days. So I just said no to that. So then finally we met up, but the whole time he kept texting me and I wasn't really responding. Sometimes I would respond like, okay, or that sounds good. We'll read after work. Nothing too long of an answer, but he sent these paragraphs where you had to press read more to
Oh
see.
no.
Yeah. And these long voice clips.
Oh no, I hate that.
Yeah.
Okay, my biggest pet peeve is voice notes. I know some of my friends send me voice notes. I really hate voice notes, and if a guy ever sends me voice notes, I know he's not my husband.
It's hilarious. So I like voice notes when I know the person. I don't think that if I know this person, I owe them the 2 minutes of my time to listen to their stupid voice clip if I don't really care that much what he has to say. I'm saying he was already getting on my nerves, so I didn't want to listen to the voice clips. That makes
Yeah, the
sense.
worst is when they respond in like a 10-second voice note. I'm
Yeah.
like, that could have been a text message. I don't want to listen to your voice note.
Yeah, I'm just like scrolling through because he just went, yeah, he wrote, perhaps we can do a video call. He would say things like perhaps, or if it's more convenient for you, they say communication is key.
Oh
I'm
God.
straight from this thing
This
because
is before the first date.
this is before the first date. So something's a little off.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's some differences in learning, who knows what it is, but I didn't know the guy yet, and I just they figured, he said one of his parents is Israeli, one of them is British, it must just be a cultural thing. And so we went on a date and he said, meet me by Penn Station. And I said, okay, Penn Station's a really big station though. I know there are a few different subway stops at Penn Station and little different parts. Penn Station's huge. I
Yeah.
said, which part of Penn Station? He's like, just the Penn Station. Uh,
Okay, like, I need a landmark.
yeah, so he wouldn't tell me. I go to Penn Station. He's like, be there in 10. I'm like, okay. I came at the time you told me to come, whatever. So I was there for 10. He's like, just stay where you are. And I said, which part of Penn Station are you arriving in? He didn't tell me. So finally he arrives and he's like, I'm here. I'm at the Penn Station. I'm at the Penn Station. I'm like, okay. I said I gave him my location where I was in Penn Station. I sent him my live location and told him the landmark. And he couldn't figure out where it was. So we talked on the phone for like 20, 25 minutes, just trying to figure out where each other were. It was an extensive amount of time.
Oh God.
And
I was not home.
he said, why don't we just try to go to Macy's? So then,
Oh, another huge place
yeah,
with
Macy's,
multiple entrances.
for anyone who doesn't know, Macy's is very close to Penn Station, but they're both very big places. So it's not very helpful. But so I walk into Macy's and I'm like, yeah, at Macy's. And he goes, oh, I'm on the eighth floor. And I'm like, I'm on the first floor. What's going on? And then he sends me his live location. I said, that's not helpful if we're on different floors. Like, why are you sending? It was very weird. Finally, we found each other eventually.
Why would he go to the 8th floor?
I'm really
Just stay on the first
I'm
floor.
really confused about the guy, and I think that it was really interesting because I'm jumping the gun. There's a lot more story, but then after we went out the third time, and
You went out 3 times with this guy?
I know, isn't that crazy? I don't know why I did. Well, I'll tell you why I did. I'll go through all the
Okay.
thought process.
Sorry for getting ahead.
But you reminded me because he said, "Yeah, I think you might just be a bit more intelligent than I am," and it was pretty funny because he said it, not me. Like, I would never say that to someone. It's not very nice. But once he said it, I started thinking about it, and I was thinking, yeah, he wasn't picking up in a lot of things.
Yeah,
Um,
he's probably just stupid
yeah,
or off.
maybe. So finally, I see him, and I see that on the dating app, he had written that he's 5'7". I'm 5'4". I was not wearing heels. I was wearing regular shoes, and he's like 2 inches shorter than me.
Classic.
I'm 5'4", and he wrote that he was 5'7". So he clearly lied about his height, and I would certainly not be opposed to going out with someone shorter than me, but I just didn't like the idea that he had lied.
Yeah, I agree.
Make sense? Like,
Yeah,
I'd rather go
I've
out
had
with
that before.
someone, yeah, I'd rather go out with someone shorter than me than go out with someone who so significantly lied by like 5 inches.
Yeah, you can lie. Yeah. Also, like, if you're gonna lie about something as obvious as your height, what else are you gonna lie about?
Ex- We'll get to that.
Oh gosh.
Um, yeah. So before I went out with him, I had asked him just some like basic questions. Does he keep Shabbos? Does he keep kosher? Just some basic stuff, just background context. And he said, yeah, he kept all those things, and he said that he davened 3 times a day. And I'm like, okay, well, that wasn't necessarily a requirement for me, but I consider that a plus, like showing that he cares about the religion, and great, it's a cool thing to do, and I thought of it as a plus. So okay, great. So I went out with him. Oh, there was this whole thing at the Macy's and the Penn Station trying to find him. Finally, I find him. He finds me. We find each other, and then he doesn't really have a plan.
No, that's the worst.
He doesn't have a plan. And he said, "So, are there kosher restaurants around here?" And I said, "Yes, but what kind?" And so I was naming all the restaurants in the area, and this was in Midtown. I don't live in Midtown, so I Penn Station, but he was coming from Brooklyn, so I agreed when he suggested to meet him by Penn Station because it was nicer, since he was coming from farther away. And then finally we went to Pliables because it was right there. And so he decided to just get one, and then he like wanted to share the bowl, and I'm like, why don't we just get a cup and we could each put it in our own cups, and just instead of just sharing. I don't know where his germs have been. I'm just
Yeah, I don't want to share germs with a guy on a first date.
I agree. Yeah, so that happened, and then the whole date was very weird. He kept on saying those strange things. Like he said, "Yeah, he wanted to go out with." He's like, "I specifically wanted to go out with a fit and athletic girl like you." And I said, "I'm not athletic at all." And I understood that he was just trying to say he wants to go out with someone thin. But it's pretty interesting because he said fit and athletic, but I'm not fit or athletic. So
Was he fit and athletic?
he played soccer for a living in Jewish day schools. He was a soccer coach. So probably he was very
Oh,
short, a bit scrawny, but he was a soccer coach for a living. So probably some soccer coach for elementary school
maybe you
kids.
took too many soccer balls to the head.
Maybe. But I just that made me uncomfortable. I don't like it when people talk about my body on the first date.
I agree. I
Yeah.
don't like when people talk about my body, period.
Yeah, same. No, totally. 100% agree. So he was weird, and I so then I agreed to go on a second date because I figured, why not give it a second chance? Nothing so terrible happened. He was just a little off, and maybe it was a cultural difference. We know there's different cultures in the world, and people have different attitudes and things, and maybe it's normal to share germs on a first date in his culture. I don't know. I was giving it the benefit of the doubt. So I went out on a second date with him, and he texted me where to go, and I showed up, and it was this really fancy restaurant. It was a fancy steak kosher restaurant here, very nice. So I showed up, and he brought me an entire bouquet of flowers. And I'm like,
Wow.
wow. On one hand, I like the chivalry, but on the other hand, it was a bit like love bombing because I didn't really know him
Yeah.
very well.
That's also a bit much on a second date.
I agree. I thought it was a bit much, but I was thinking, wow, someone's pursuing me. It's about time. So,
At least you had a plan this time.
yeah, he had a plan. So we went to the restaurant. We got a bajillion appetizers, all this stuff. I didn't order a steak because I don't feel comfortable ordering things that are that expensive. So we both got burgers, but we got a lot of appetizers and dessert and a salad and all these things. And then it was fine. It was okay. He was still a bit odd.
And he paid.
Yeah, he paid. And then afterwards, he said, "Oh, I don't want to leave. Let's continue." So we got drinks afterwards. And the whole time I was thinking, he's sweet. He's not saying anything so egregious or terrible or offensive in a way. He makes a few off-putting comments, but I'm also a bit quirky myself, so whatever. And I agreed to go on a third date because he had spent so much on the second date, and he clearly had showed that he was so into me. So I figured, why not give him a third date? And if he hadn't gone all out on the second date, I don't think I would have given him a third date. It was just because he had put in so much effort, and he dressed up, and I dressed up, and why not give it a third date? So also the whole time after, even before the first date, and then after the first one, and after the second one, he kept texting me and texting me and texting me. Middle of the work day, he would say, "Oh, want to hop on a call, FaceTime?" First of all, I don't like FaceTiming with people that I've gone on a few dates with if I don't know them well.
Hmm.
And also, I said, "No, I'm working." Yes, I often work remotely, so that's how if I had a boring meeting, I could see on my phone that he was texting me, but I wasn't looking in detail at it. I was just seeing he was texting me, and I was saying, "Hi, I'm at work." I ended up having to silence my phone often, just silence my phone during the workday because it was ridiculous the amount of
That's crazy.
texting he was texting me. And so, oh, and he was also texting me at weird hours. And I happen to be a morning person, so I'll like to wake up maybe 7:30 in the morning, read a book, maybe exercise, do my hair, all these things. I You could ask my roommates from college. I do not want to be texted at 2 in the morning. I will bite you. It brings out the worst in me. I need my me time. 2 in the
Yeah.
morning,
2 in the morning, I'm long asleep.
even by past 11:40 with someone I don't know, don't text me.
Oh, I like stop answering messages by like 10.
Yeah, I often do too. Sometimes I'll respond like 10:30, but afterwards I need a whole hour and a half
Yeah.
without looking at my screen so that I could fall asleep, and my whole bedtime routine and read my book and wash my face and brush my teeth.
Yeah.
No one texts me, especially people that I
Or
don't.
like if you text me, I'm gonna respond 2 in the morning.
Right. So,
Also, I keep my phone on silent.
yeah.
So like even if I see a text come in, I'm not answering it.
So in the morning, I would wake up at 7, and first thing I would see was all the texts that he had sent me at 1 and 2 in the morning when I had gone to sleep at 11:30. And I wrote a few times. I said, "Hey, please don't message me at this hour. I'm a morning person and I like to set my boundaries. I don't like to be texted at this hour. Please don't do it." And I said it at least twice, and he just kept texting me at weird hours.
I don't like that.
Texted me during the workday, texted me while I was sleeping. Don't like it. Another part, he, on the very first date, we ended up taking an Uber from one place to another place, from the Pliables to this pool place, like billiards pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the balls, which I do not enjoy, by the way. So if anyone wants to take me out, please do not take me to pool. I don't have the muscle strength for it, so it's not my thing. I don't like it. So we took an Uber there, and while we were in the Uber, he we were talking about he was trying to explain his family. And it became clear that everyone in his family had a different last name. So he had his last name, but his father had a different last name because his father had changed his last name. So the guy I went out with, his he had shown me his driver's license, and I saw the driver's license was a different last name than the one that he had put on his dating app. And I said, "Hey, it's a different last name." And he said, "Oh yeah, it was a whole thing. My family changed your last name because we had this Sephardi name that was really hard to pronounce and long. So then in America, in the past like 7 years, we changed our name. But my grandfather and my cousins all go by the original name. Said, my father also changed his last name to this name that I go by. I said, oh, and what about your siblings and your mom? He goes, oh, so my mom actually has my stepfather's last name. And then my brother kept the original last name, so he doesn't have the new last name. And my sister's married, so she has her husband's last name. So I said, literally everyone in your family has a different last name. He said, yeah, that's correct. And then he goes, this is the weirdest part. He said, this was the very first date. Within an hour and a half of meeting him, he goes, but don't worry, this name, and it was the name that he had on the dating app. He said, this name will be the name that you'll be taking if we choose to continue.
Oh gosh.
And
It's a bold assumption.
I was just like, whoa. First of all, it's a first date. Second of all, whoever said I wanted to take his last name, especially if everyone in his family has a different last name, we could take my name. Why would I want to take some name that you chose that no one else in your family has? There's no history to it.
So it's 2026. You can keep your last name if you want.
Yeah, it's a conversation. Maybe I would change my name, maybe I wouldn't, but it's a conversation. Why is a guy on a first date assuming I would take his last name?
Yeah, a guy should never assume you're gonna take his last name.
I
I probably won't legally change my last name.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll see. Like, I have my CPA license. I have my professional career. I have a lot on my last name. I mean, I'm also in my 30s, so it's like a little different. I think
You're less than 10 years older than me. I don't know exactly how old you are, but I'm 24.
I'm 32.
Yeah, you're less than 10 years older than me, so you're not that much older.
No, I'm not saying I'm just like I'm already like more established in like my career and
Yeah.
like I have all my license like I have my licenses and everything and it's I don't know. I think socially I would go by my husband's like maybe it also depends on what his last name is.
I agree. Like there's a set of
Like
names that I will not be taking.
like if it's boring, my first name's boring. I need a last name with some personality.
Even not just boring. There are a lot of names that obviously I'm not going to mention on the podcast, but there are a lot of names that sound like bad words in English.
Yeah.
And there are also a lot of words that if you look at the meaning, like Klotzman, that means a klutz. Why would I want that to be my family's last name?
That's a really good point. I'm gonna have to do some more digging and investigative work. But honestly, my last name could sound like a bad thing also, so and people do call me not correct pronunciations of my last name
Really
that sound like bad things.
interesting.
But
Well, I haven't figured out what it is yet, so I'll have to look more into the details of your last name after.
okay. Bossy will let me know if my last name's bad, and then maybe I'll take my husband's last name.
I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, and then at that, we went to the fancy restaurant on the second date. The same guy, just the weird one without the boundaries. As weird is not a nice term, but the one that I wasn't so fond of. He he kept on eating my fries. And I said, oh, it seems like you want some fries. And I understood that I was expecting him to pay for the date. He did ultimately pay for the date. So I said, why don't you just here's a clean fork, take a bunch of fries, put it on your plate, and then you could have those fries. Like,
Did he not have his own fries?
no, because I got a burger that came with fries and his burger came with like mashed potatoes or something.
Oh.
And that's his problem, but he wanted my fries. So I said, take a bunch of fries with your fork, this clean fork, put it on your plate, and then you could take the fries. That's okay. Like, I probably was going to finish the whole thing anyway. It's not a big deal. He was probably paying for it, and he did pay for it. Take the fries. But he insisted on just taking them off my plate.
No, I don't like that.
I don't either.
Like, take some. Like, I'm fine with sharing. I love sharing. Even on a first date, I will share. Like, if we go to a place and you have to get fries separately, I'm like, we're sharing fries. I just hope you know that. Like, on anytime I go out with a guy and fries come separate, I'm like, we're sharing fries. And it's fine. But, like, they're either communal or, like, everyone takes some on their own plate.
And it was just a weird dynamic where there was a candle in the middle of the table, and he kept reaching his arm over and stretching in order to grab the fries and take them off one at a time. And it was very weird.
No, that's weird. I don't like that.
When you're like that. And at one point he goes, haha, my Basi. My Basi. And I'm like, no,
What?
no. As you can see, I feel like there's a pattern. The
Yeah.
no boundaries, lack of boundaries, jumping the gun. It happens.
You're not gonna like what I'm gonna tell you.
What?
You need to like when you see it, you should not go on the date.
I'm learning that. I'm
Like
learning
when you
that.
notice it in the texting beforehand, like that's when you just stop answering.
I'm learning that.
That's what like you don't go on the date. Like when you see red flags before you even go on a first date, that's when you cancel the first date.
Yeah.
Like I think as women we're conditioned to just like always like be open-minded and give a guy a chance, but like I think we need to stop giving guys chances.
I think so too. I'm really learning that. I think I was trying to be open-minded, try to open my options. Just not, I'm not desperate at all, but just wanted to see where things would go and go on more dates, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so I also don't like that he was so aggressive about making very clear that he was interested in me when I wasn't reciprocating. That makes
Yeah.
sense with the flowers and being so clear with a my bossy, like weirdo. Um,
Yeah, it's like too much.
so then we went on a third date. Terrible. The third date really sealed the deal that it was over. It was just all over the place. There wasn't a set plan. We went to this bowling place where the lady yelled at us and started screaming at us. And then she said there wasn't any spots left. So we had to leave and walk around the range, try to find somewhere else to go. The whole thing just really stressed me out. So then afterwards, I said, okay, I'm gonna go. And he also had me go all the way downtown, which was a good 42 minutes in the subway on a Saturday night in the
Oh
rain.
no. No, no, no. Also, you need to start making guys come to you.
Well, in a
You're
way,
not meeting guys.
he was coming from Brooklyn.
I don't care. He could be coming from Timbuktu. He's still coming to meet me in my neighborhood.
Hmm, interesting. Maybe I should start doing that.
Yeah. I mean, also, some of my friends tell me that I'm a little too rigid, but at the end of the day, at least I know I'm going home. And like, I don't have to ride a 42-minute subway in the dark, in the rain. Like, no, I'll be home in 10 minutes.
Yeah. So, so then at the end of the date, he, I said, okay, I'm gonna take the subway now. You get off at this stop because I was transferring. Get off at this stop. I'm gonna go continue up to my neighborhood, 40 minutes away from downtown. And he said, no, no, I really want to transfer with you and go all the way. And I kept saying, no, 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 it's okay. I could leave you there because I knew I was gonna end things. But he insisted on coming. Because then on the second train, so the transfer on the subway up to right where I live, I was talking to him. And I said, uh-huh. And I felt like I had been giving a lot of hints at that point to show my mood, to show I wasn't really interested and I wasn't feeling it and I had had enough. I said, so what did you think of the date? How are you feeling about everything? Yada yada. And he said, I thought it went really well. I had a great time. I had a great time the past 3 times and I thought it went really well. And he's like, and I was thinking of asking you about the next step. And I'm like, oh, okay. Um,
What's the next step?
like he wanted to ask me to be his girlfriend or something, I think.
After
That's
3 dates?
that's what I'm assuming. I don't know what it meant. I don't actually know. But so then I told him I made the mistake of telling him on the subway that I didn't want to continue, and I should have just sent him a text because the way he reacted was worse than all the 3 dates combined.
Oh no.
So what happened was I said, I'm not interested. And he looked so sad, like he was gonna cry. And his first reaction was, but I spent so much money on the second date. He said that. I know plenty of people think it in their heads, but he said it out loud.
But that's on him.
I said, that's your loss. I said, no, I didn't say it's your loss. I said, that's a risk that you took.
Also, like, you planned the date. Like, you can't be upset if, like, I don't know. I don't think guys can be upset about that if they're the ones who plan these extravagant, like, I'm sure you would have been just as happy if he took you out for pizza.
Yeah, I may have not given him a third date if he had taken me out for pizza, but I would have been happy and it would have been done with over.
Or, like, maybe
But
not a fancy steak, right? Maybe just like a regular, like, fast casual, like, kosher restaurant. Like
totally.
mid-tier kosher restaurant.
I feel like it's more about the person you're with than the activity itself. If you vibe with the person,
Yeah.
then coffee or walk in the park is amazing if you really enjoy the person's company.
Yeah. I'm not getting dolled up for a walk in the park.
Fine. fine. Maybe it's more
Like,
like
if you're
if
taking me
you're
on a walk in the park, I'll show up in leggings and a shirt
fine. I
and
mean,
like,
maybe if you're farther along
yeah,
and
okay,
you know you like their
then it's
company.
like spending time with each other.
Yeah.
Like when it's further along, then it's like, okay, why don't we like hang out and watch a movie? Why don't we take a walk? Like do things like that are more casual. But no, also just like if you're gonna be upset at someone for ending it after 2, 3 dates, like don't take the person to fancy restaurants. Like
Yeah.
for me, I also get uncomfortable by it because I get uncomfortable with someone spending a lot of money on me in general, but especially if I'm not sure where I want to go with them.
Right. And that's why I didn't order steak because I don't feel comfortable when they spent that much money on me. And I offered to split on every single date. So I said, yeah, I actually offered to split on every single date. And that was a risk that you took. I'm sorry you spent so much money, but that I don't take responsibility for that.
No,
Um,
and you shouldn't feel bad.
yeah, I did feel a little bad. But then what happened was he I took notes because this is so insane, all these things he said. He said, why is it that in these situations men have no power and the women get to choose everything? And I'm
What?
thinking like, you can't buy me. Like I'm not a prostitute. Like
Yeah.
you can't purchase me. I don't do that. And he kept on asking why? And I said all these euphemisms. I said, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling a romantic connection. It wasn't for me. And he said, what do you mean you weren't feeling a romantic connection? I thought it was very romantic with the candles and the bouquet. And he kept on asking why? And then finally, because he seemed like he got hit by a soccer ball or something and he wasn't getting it, I said, I'm not interested in you. I'm not attracted to you. I don't want to continue. I said it like that, which was a bit mean, but
No, you were pushed.
yeah. So I said it like that, and he goes, "Oh, well, that's just because you haven't seen me with my shirt off because I have abs." And and I was so done, so I walked away. But he kept on continuing to text me. And as soon as I get home, I see a text from him and it says, "Good luck finding someone who treats you as well as I did."
You didn't even plan the date.
He didn't treat me very well. All he did is he spent a lot of money on one date. He didn't treat me well at all besides for that.
No, he made you go all the way downtown in the rain on a Saturday night.
Yeah, and he ate my fries even though I said just take some and put it on your plate. Stop reaching over the candle on the table and eating my fries.
And he wouldn't give you a location to meet in the Penn Station.
I agree.
And
Let's
then
go
went to
there.
the eighth floor of Macy's. Like, what the heck?
And so when he wrote, "Good luck finding someone who treats you as well as I did," I immediately wrote back. I wrote, "I'm actually not concerned at all."
I would have just blocked him.
Listen, so this is what happened. So then he just kept on sending me long texts. Like an entire day went by and he kept sending, I woke up in the morning again where he had sent me texts at 1 and 2 in the morning when I was sleeping. And I was reading them just for the heck of it. Like, what is he saying? And he wrote this really weird thing. He said, you know, he said, so I'm shorter than you. I'm not as intelligent as you. I'm not as career oriented as you. I think that you're a queen, and I'd really just like to come and be the short person who is your footrest for you, Your Majesty the Queen. And
What?
that was so weird, and I started laughing.
That's so weird.
Yeah, he's short, but I wasn't looking for a footrest. I was looking for a rock, a supporter. Um,
Yeah. You're
um,
king.
and so then he just kept texting me, and then this is when I finally blocked him, because this was like the real thing that made me so upset and not just laugh at the ridiculousness, but actually really upset. Then he sends me a long voice clip and he says, yeah, I don't actually keep Shabbos. And I'm like,
What?
thinking, what? So that would have been a huge deal breaker for me from the beginning. Like I mentioned before, when I had the first call before the first date and then the second and the third, one of the things I asked him, I said, just confirming you keep Shabbos and kosher. Because those are baseline for me. As I know for some people it's negotiable. For me, I don't want to get involved with someone who I know we're not even on those basic terms with.
Yeah.
And he had told me, like I said before, that he davened 3 times a day, which is higher than just keeping Shabbos alone.
Yeah.
But just like how he had lied about his height, he had also lied about keeping Shabbos. So then I
Oh
blocked him.
gosh.
Then I blocked him. I'm like, enough. And that's the end of that.
No, that's crazy. Also, like, I didn't like what he said. Why is it always the woman's choice? What? Also, number one, he had free will to end it with you if he didn't want to see you. It's anyone's choice, and it's like, I don't owe you anything.
He said, "You have all the power here. Why does the woman have all the power?"
The woman doesn't have all the power.
I agree.
I think both parties, honestly, I think the one who's at a in higher league has the power. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like, you were clearly out of his league.
appreciate it. Thank you.
But no, you're like normal and cute and
Oh,
like
thanks.
good and like have a good have your life put together. He seems like he's just like off and weird.
It was definitely a learning experience because now, like you said before, when someone starts showing red flags before you even go on a date,
Yeah.
just don't go on the date.
Yeah, like guys message me on dating apps and I'm just like anytime I see like red flag behavior, I just stop answering. And I'm not one for ghosting, but I think if you're still on the app and you just stop answering, that's very different.
I also stopped answering, but I think the reason why I kept answering is because he was a bit unusual. And
Yeah.
I like exoticness in a way.
You're curious.
Yeah, I studied abroad in Italy in my junior year of college. I took 5 semesters of Italian, and I like to watch Bollywood cinema. I like to try new things, and I like that sense of stimulation and like exploring the world. And then I thought, wow, this guy's a little different. Never seen anyone like this before. Maybe this will be entertaining. So that was my thought process.
I hear.
Yeah, I like an adventure.
I hear that. And it makes a good story to tell in the podcast.
It definitely does.
But yeah, no, when I start seeing a red flag in a guy, I just say like I just like don't think I'm this like if I had that and a guy was like endlessly texting me before a first date, I would be like, honestly, I've thought about it. I'm not interested in going out anymore.
Ask him to FaceTime to plan the first date.
No, I would have said I really like when a guy or I prefer when a guy plans a date. It's none of my business what we're doing on the date.
Yeah.
I don't want to know. I don't want to be involved. I want you to tell me I want you to tell me before, but it's none of my business how we get the process is none of my business.
Yeah.
Just like tell me what we're doing, tell me where to be and when.
And I have to put all the effort into choosing what I'm gonna wear and getting dolled up and stressing about how the date's gonna go and all these things.
Yeah, and in your case, stressing about how you're getting home.
Exactly.
That's why I make the guys come here.
Exactly. He could at least just plan a basic date. Doesn't have to be crazy, just
Yeah.
plan the date.
And I hate those you just meet and it's like, oh, what should we do? Like I hate that.
I hate that too. That whole thing, I can't believe I gave it 3 dates and he was so shocked when I ended it too.
No. But definitely, yeah, definitely probably would have been better to text him.
Yeah, I learned that because
But I get it because I'm someone who can't keep a thought inside my head once I have it. So, I would be the type also to blurt out, I don't want to see you anymore.
it was also because we had a long subway ride from downtown and we're transferring, so there was the wait time for the second train, and there was all this time that we just had to kill the time by talking. And at one point towards the end of the journey, I just had to let it out.
Yeah, especially if he's talking about taking things to the next step, and I don't know.
This guy didn't get a hint.
It's a bit much.
I think I could do better.
Yeah, I think so too.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I mean, honestly, that's not saying that much because he's kind of psychotic. He sounds psychotic. I think you could do better than psychotic.
Thank you. Sometimes I don't always pick up right away when people are psychotic. It's like sometimes a story in my life.
You'll learn.
Yeah, I think so. I give people the benefit of the doubt. And
That's your problem. People don't deserve the benefit of the
I
doubt,
think you're right.
especially male folk.
And so just talking about giving people the benefit of the doubt and just being extra nice to people. So one time I was at a Shabbos meal and there was a man there and he had some sort of disability. And we're all created differently, all B'Tselem Elohim, whatever. So I saw he was sitting all alone. No one was talking to him. And the way my mother always raised me, she said, if you see someone sitting all alone, go up to them and try to include them. So that's what I did, trying to be a naive girl, woman, but trying to be nice. So I went up to him, I started talking to him at the Shabbos meal. He was all alone. I was talking to him. We talked for maybe 10, 15 minutes. Apparently, I know his first cousins. We went to high school together. Great. Jewish geography. Great. They have the same last name too. Incredible. So we were chatting. I was just being friendly. I'm very loud and friendly, if you haven't noticed. I think you're also.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. I was just chatting with him. That was it. Just being nice, trying to make him feel included. Immediately after Shabbos is over, I receive a text from someone. It says, "Will you go out with this guy?" It's the guy. And it took me like a minute to process. And then I thought, sorry, like, no.
Yeah.
And that wasn't what I was looking for. And I felt really bad having to say, no, sorry, it wasn't what I was looking for. And I wish him the best. I hope he has a great life.
Yeah.
I hope he meets his person.
Yeah, it's not, there's no hate against the disabled community. And I know I have listeners who are a part of the disabled community. Like,
Yes.
we, like, it's nothing against anyone. It's just people have different abilities and people can handle different things. And there are people who are, I do believe that everyone who wants to get married, there is a match for them because I need to believe that in order to keep going with my own life. But I do believe that there are people who can handle those challenges. It's just not everyone has like the ability to handle those challenges. And like you shouldn't feel bad because I had a situation not like that, but kind of similar, but I'll tell you afterwards. Like it's just like it's out of my realm of capabilities.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. No, right. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying with right.
And again, there's no
Full
hate.
respect.
I love all the members of Sticky Situation Nation, unless you're a criminal, then I don't love you. But like and I appreciate everyone who is part of the community of people with disabilities. And it's just and I would love if someone would come and talk about it. I've had people message me about it, and I would love if somebody, if I have any listeners with any disabilities who would want to are open to talk about your dating life and challenges and like bring more awareness to the community. So there's no hate against anyone and like I don't want anyone to like be offended or take any of this the wrong way. It's just like it's hard because it's not in everyone's realm of capabilities.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And just to clarify, there are many people in my life who have disabilities that are very important, special people to me, and I love them. And this was just somewhere where I wasn't willing to go in this. And I also want to clarify that it wasn't the guy himself who had asked. It was someone who he knew who had seen us talking to each other and assumed, oh, they're talking for 15 minutes. She must be interested in going out with him. So that person asked me if I would go out with him. Yeah, so it wasn't even the man himself.
Yeah. It's actually it's so ironic because one of my friends texted me today, actually. We went to an event and uh, the two of us went to an event a couple days ago, and she's like, "Remember that guy like who I knew, like we're kind of like friendly. He like came up and was talking to us and he was actually talking to her for a long time." She's like, "He asked for my number." Like and he like texted me. I'm like she's like, "Do you know like if you think he's like actually interested?" Like all this like it's just so it's hard to know when like just because someone talks to you for like 15 minutes doesn't mean they're interested in dating you. It's just like they could be a friendly person. And like I hope the person didn't hold that against you because you're just like being a nice person and treating someone like a person. Like just being a normal human. But even like with everyone, like guys do that all the time. Like have you ever talked to a guy at an event for like a long time and you're like, is he interested in me?
All the time. It's so
Like, yeah.
one time wow, I've totally forgot about this story. But I was at an event and it was in our neighborhood, there's a big lawn that in the summer months, tons of people in their 20s and 30s, mostly single people, all congregate in this big lawn. And it's the strangest thing because people don't really talk to people who they don't already know.
Yeah.
So you just go and look at everyone in their Shabbos dresses and you just observe. And there's over 100 people there, Jewish, non-Orthodox people, all in the same stage of life around. And it was so interesting. So I was with my friends, and one of my friends saw a guy she knew. So then I was talking to him. He went over to us and said hi. And we're talking to this guy. I was talking to him. I had a whole conversation with him for 20 minutes. And then I said, so who do you live with? And he said, who do I live with? I said, yeah, we're in our 20s in New York City. Basically, everyone has roommates. Who do you live with? And he said, my wife. And he wasn't wearing a wedding ring or anything. And that was just an example of what Rachel just said.
No, like what?
You talk to these guys
Why are you out talking to single people
in the park.
in the park, like without your wife,
It was so weird.
and without a wedding ring?
Yeah.
Like that's weird.
And then he points to the other side of the lawn, so far away that I could barely see it without wearing my glasses.
But it's also like, why are you talking to single women
Yeah.
if you're married?
And
yeah, you can have friends, but like don't like strike up conversations with single women in this very obvious spot where single people congregate
yeah, it's undercover
and
in a
meet
way.
other single people.
It's a singles event.
Yeah, it's basically a free singles event. It's funny because I tried to do podcast promotion back towards the end of the summer, right before Chagim. I was helping one of my friends recruit for Yom Kippur, which you guys remember back. I put an ad in, and we did a tag team. I was like, okay, I'll help you recruit if you also like advertise for the podcast. So we did a whole thing, and I went up to people and I was talking to all these people just like recruit. I was like, wow, this is so social. I've met so many people, and because you're right, everyone just kind of like sticks to the people that they know. And then sometimes you'll go up to people who you know who are talking to people you don't know, and that's how you meet people. But it's very rare that like people go up to random people they don't know. But yeah, so it just is all saying that just because somebody's nice and is trying to talk to like if someone's flirting, like you'll know that they're flirting.
Do you though?
No.
I was gonna say, like,
yeah. Okay, here's the thing. If you're confused, it's a no. One of my guests a few episodes ago reminded me of my dating rules from like way back in my first like beginning episodes. And one of the rules is if you're confused, it's a no. Like if he likes you, you'll know. If he doesn't, you'll be confused. So like if you're confused, that means he doesn't like you.
I think you're right.
I think if a guy it sometimes guys are not like so upfront. But you know what? If he's not gonna be upfront, then he's not my man. Like if he's not gonna make it known that he likes me, then like whatever.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's why I liked it, that the Israeli British guy was making it so clear that he liked me. Even though it was uncomfortable, at least he wasn't beating around the bush. He was being very
Yeah.
clear in his aggression about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good, right?
Yeah.
But that's all.
But yeah, I mean, going back to what you were saying, like it's really hard when you're just like trying to be friendly with someone and trying to be nice to someone, and then people just assume you want to date them. Like
It is really hard. It's hard. Yeah. And I wonder, it makes me think about what sort of image I'm putting out to people. How do people think of me in a way, depending on who they want to set me up with, if that makes sense. Yeah, so that's definitely something I think of.
no, I think you're just being a good person and the right people will see that in you.
Thank you.
And want to set you up with the right people because it's not like, oh, she's just interested in anyone who like would go out with her. Like no, she's just a nice friendly person trying to be inclusive of people. So like the the right people will, with the people who have the right suggestions will give you suggestions of people who also are kind.
Thank you. You
And
too.
like, thank you. I mean, that's what I'm looking for. At the end of the day, like, no, I actually have more requirements. But the first thing I'm looking for is somebody kind. But we'll
Me
get
too.
to that. We'll get that to that at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good place to take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors. So we will be right back.
Sticky Situations is sponsored by Corona Crush. Are you tired of swiping on dating apps? Tired of guessing whether the cute guy or girl you keep seeing around is Jewish and or single? Then you need to run, not walk, to join Corona Crush. Corona Crush is a Jewish organization working to create Jewish couples always. Corona Crush has over 30 confirmed engagements, over 22,000 members from all over the world, and has set up over 50,000 speed dates. Join the Corona Crush Facebook group and post yourself or have a friend post you and see who reaches out. Fill out the survey to sign up for virtual speed dating events happening every other week. Corona Crush is 100% free and 100% Jewish. Worst case, you end up with some stories of your own. Best case, you find the love of your life. Try it out today. Here on Sticky Situations, we tend to focus on bad dating stories, but sometimes dates do go well and lead to proposals and weddings. Who would have thought? And what do all of those require, you might be asking? Well, the answer is flowers. Who doesn't want flowers from someone they've been seeing? Don't forget, flower petals and bouquets needed for proposals. And that's even before all the flowers that go into weddings. Sticky Situations is sponsored by Primrose Flower Shop. In my opinion, Primrose is the coolest flower shop around and has the best customer service to fulfill all of your floral needs. Primrose offers a range of services from your basic bouquets to subscription services where you can get flowers delivered once a week. They deliver all over the tri-state area, including Manhattan. Primrose does weddings, bar and bat mitzvahs, and other simchas. I've personally been to a wedding where Primrose did the flowers, and the work they did was beyond gorgeous. Primrose additionally offers in-store proposals, including a romantic setup with candles and music. Primrose is located at 2922 Avenue M in Brooklyn, and the phone number is 929 376 9815. You can also follow Primrose on Instagram at PrimroseNY. So, if you can't get someone out of your head, buy them some flowers from Primrose. They'll either love it or they'll find you really creepy. But regardless, the flowers will be out of this world.
Okay, we're back, everybody. Okay, Basi, you want to tell another story?
Yeah, sure. So, a few months ago, my brother got married, which was so wonderful. They did. It was great. Got married in end of November, and it was so lovely. Very happy for him. Such a happy moment. Just a side point, it brought in a lot of opportunities for me to see all these relatives I hadn't seen in like 10, 15 years. Because there was the vor, and then there was the Sheva Brachos, and the Ofraf, and the wedding, and you see all these people that you're related to, but you don't know so well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was at one of those events, I saw these relatives I hadn't seen in a while. It was a cousin of one of my parents and then their children, so they would be my second cousins. And I hadn't seen them since I was maybe 12 years old, so in 12 years. And so they went up to me, they wished me a mazel tov for my brother, because we were all so happy for him. And then she said to me, "Are there any special guys in your life? Any special?" So she goes, "No. So any special guys?" And I just laughed because I hadn't seen her in 12 years. This is someone, she's in her 50s, a cousin of one of my parents, and she was there with her daughter, my second cousin. And just for the record, a lot of my family is more yeshivish, hence the name Basi. So yeah, a lot of yeshivish people in my family, we love them, but sometimes it's a different standard than where I am in my life. I'm not looking to date someone just a few times and get married immediately. I'm looking to know someone, understand who I'm dating before I marry them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this particular woman, she has 7 children, and 6 out of 7 of them are married. And her children all got married. Her daughters got married 19, 20. Her sons got married 21, 22. I'm 24. So in their eyes, I'm old. And so she says to me, she goes, "No, any special guys?" And I felt like it was pushing a button in a way. I know she's a Shad fan and she's looking out for people, but it felt a bit personal for someone that I hadn't seen in over a decade. And I said, "Well, you know, I never settle." And I felt like a good thing to say because I know her daughters had gotten married at 20, and at least 2 of them had married the first person they ever went out with.
Oh, wow.
So I said, I never settle. And that felt like a good, empowering thing to say in that moment.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
Also, this is a PSA for anyone listening. it's none of your business. Like random relatives, strangers, like not strangers, but like random relatives, family, friends, it's like don't ask me. Like I've had people come up to me, they're like, "Oh, so Rachel, do you have a boyfriend?" Like if I had a boyfriend, you would probably know. Like just leave me alone. Unless you have someone to set me up with, like it's it's none of your business.
Yeah.
So also, I don't know. I was talking to my I've said this before, but I also like I had dinner with a few of my friends who are married the other night, and I was like, honestly, my dating life is the least interesting thing going on in my life right now.
Except for that you have a podcast about it.
No, but the podcast is not my dating life. The podcast is the podcast.
Right.
Like, yeah, I do talk about my own experiences on the podcast, but I don't, the podcast is like a totally like separate entity from my actual dating life. Like, yeah, I do talk about my dating experiences on the podcast, but that's like my choice. But they weren't asking about the podcast because I could have told them like, oh, I have so many like exciting upcoming guests, or I talked to this get like podcast episodes, podcast recordings, like that's interesting in my life. Like I have other stuff that I do. Like I try to live like a very full, fun life while I'm single. And it's just like everyone just wants to talk about my dating life.
I know.
My dating life is not your entertainment.
I know. It feels a bit like I'm a pawn in their entertainment and they want the tea to be able to
Yeah.
share with other members of their family, or they want to see a checkbox like, great, you got out of diapers, great, you graduated high school, great, you graduated college, great, or didn't go to college if you're
If you're
whatever.
Steven.
No, I'm joking. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're different. I just mean no judgment at all. I just mean they're different timelines.
Yeah.
And so different people have different
Miles.
right, different sorts of milestones. And in some communities, the milestone of getting married is much, much bigger than a graduation.
Yeah. I don't know. It just kind of sucks because it's funny because you see, even if you, when I lurk on social media sometimes, like you go on Facebook or Instagram, and people will post like cool things that they do and fun trips and things like that. But the posts that get the most likes and comments are always the engagement posts or baby posts. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's exciting. But like, I don't know. When I get engaged, that's not going to be the most exciting day of my life.
Right. Yeah.
Honestly, no matter what, even after I get married and have babies, the best day of my life is still going to be, I think it was May 23. Taylor Swift to the Eras tour the first time. Like, that's always going to be the highlight of my life. But I'm just saying, like, my dating life is not your entertainment.
Exactly. And sometimes I think that people go a bit too overboard with the sharing, and I
Yeah.
always think that the couples who are always posting together on social media, it's a red flag. And I always wonder,
Yeah.
there must be something that they're trying to cover up.
Yeah. The more you say on social media, like, the less you're saying to each other in person.
Yeah,
It's also like, why is this my business?
I agree. And sometimes with the staging of the engagement photos, I know that engagement's a huge thing. It's
Yeah.
really exciting milestone. I don't like the idea that people want to specifically make sure that their nails are done so that when they take the selfie with the ring, then they have their nails done. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I don't like that sense of it being so staged that you have to be all dolled up and
No, I want my nails done so my giant shiny diamond looks great on my hands, on my nicely freshly manicured hands.
right, but why specifically the day that you get proposed to instead of just years down the line when you have a freshly manicured hand and an engagement ring and a living marriage?
I don't know. You're right. I think it like people take lots of pictures and all of that. I don't know. Or because everyone's looking at your hand.
Right.
Yeah, your hand is on display.
Fine,
So
but you're right. There's a sense to it, but it
I
doesn't
hear what you're saying, like everything is
social media.
yeah. And listen, I post a lot on social media. I love a good Instagram story. I think I'm hilarious though. So like that's why I post Instagram stories.
I think you're funny. I listen to your podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. we just finished with Purim, and like I was just posting really, I was having so much fun captioning my Instagram stories on Purim. Like it was just fun. Like I find myself entertaining and I think I'm hilarious, so that's why I do it. But yeah, no, when I take a good picture of myself, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm putting this on social media. Like I am a little obsessed with myself, but I'll admit it. But I, I don't know. Yeah. But I agree. The couples who just like post all the time, it's like, why? Why do I need to know this?
And sometimes there
And
are
write
things,
paragraphs to each other. Like, I don't need to know that.
sometimes there are things happening behind the scenes that they're trying to cover up.
Oh, 100%. I think couples in real life, you know how like celebrity couples or reality TV couples will post like a PR post when they break up? I think real couples should write breakup posts too. I want to know if they got divorced.
That's
Curious. Like
hilarious.
all these random people. Like one of my friends texted me a few days ago and she was like, "Do you still keep up with so and so from college?" And I was like, "No, do you?" And she's like, "No, but I think she got divorced." I'm
Wow.
like, "I want to know that. Like I was at your wedding. I want to know about your divorce."
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to a wedding where they got divorced and I was at the wedding. Not yet. Well, hopefully it shouldn't happen, but I don't think I've
I've been to a few.
would you keep divorce vengers?
Oh, that's a whole re new research study of mine.
Really?
Yeah, so I do have, I don't know if I have a venture from this girl's wedding because that was back in my college days. That's probably, I don't know. It might be in my venture collection, but maybe not. I do have one, a friend who got divorced, and I try to not put that venture out. Some people say to rip the cover off, but my friend made a really interesting discovery. She has two divorce ventures, and they're the same venture. Like
Hmm?
it's the same like brand or type, and it's not a common one. So
Oh,
when I remember when I go to people's apartments, I ask if they have any divorced people ventures, and I ask to see them because I want to see if it's the same venture. The one that I have is not the same as the two that she has, but it's a very interesting research study that I forgot that I was doing until now.
wow. Well,
Yeah.
I'll have to know what the correlation is if I don't know. Maybe people who book with a certain, there could be some third variable. Some people who book with a certain venture making vendor, they happen to be very stressed because this window's last minute. I wonder if there's some sort of third
Yeah.
variable, the ice cream and the stealing, you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
I'm gonna look and see if I have this girl's venture. I don't know that I do, but also, yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting. But if anybody has divorced people ventures and want to send me a picture, you can blur out the name. But feel free to DM me a picture of the venture cover and I'll tell you if it's the same one.
Right. And just also just because I know I'd much rather take my time and find a good relationship and not rush into things than rush into something and just it not be the right fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I 100% agree. I have friends who settled and maybe they're happy. I hope they're happy, but I don't want to I don't ever I saw some I keep seeing it on TikTok. I would rather be the woman that people are like, how is she still single? Than be someone in a relationship and be like, why is she with him?
Wow. That's interesting. That's a take.
Yeah.
But how do you know that your friends settled?
Um,
Is it obvious or did they tell you?
just like the way that they talked about it before. Like, and I do believe that this is my mature thoughts that I have recently developed. I do think that you're always going to be settling on something.
Oh, of course. You
You
have
just
to.
have to pick what's important to settle on. Like, I don't know, I was thinking about certain things, dating certain people, and I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't exactly what I thought was going to be, but all I would rather have like XYZ qualities than this other thing that I could get used to. Like maybe I'm settling on this one thing that isn't super important.
Yeah, even in a friendship, there are going to be some things that you disagree about or different values or
Yeah.
opinions. And
The big things have to line up.
of course, the big things have to line up and lifestyle things you could deal with a lot of things. Not everything, but no, I
Like certain
100%
things.
agree.
Certain things you can grow to like love. I don't know. I was talking about this in terms of like just yeah, I don't want to get too much into it actually.
Okay.
But no, I just think you need to have the big values and you need to think about like you have to look at the big picture and think about all of like not deal breakers, but like all of like the big ticket items and what you can live with and what you cannot live with. Like I know for me personally, I could not live with a bum.
Yeah.
Like someone who doesn't have a good job, like I know I would resent that. But okay, if I'm not like super physically attracted to someone from the beginning, I know with myself, like as I grow to like their personality and I'm attracted to them as a person, that physical attraction will grow.
How long?
I
How
don't
long
know.
would that take?
I don't know. It depends on the other qualities.
It's a conversation I have with my friends a lot. Just when they keep going out with guys that they're not into, and they're into the guys are into them, but they're not feeling it, but they say attraction could grow. So then we always ask, how long should it take? And none of us know the answer.
Yeah, I don't know the answer either because anytime I've tried, it's just like has ended for other reasons, and I feel very relieved about it.
Right.
And
Same.
yeah, or I just like freak out and end it. Or I'm like, no, I really like don't like this person. I don't know. It's very hard to say, but I do really think clarity always comes. Like you'll always get the clarity.
What sort of clarity?
The clarity on whether you made the right decision or not.
Oh.
Or whether and in my case, the clarity's only come that like this isn't it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, how would someone, it would be much less common to get the clarity after you end things of, it was really the one versus,
No,
yeah, I feel good with
I
my,
think I think I'm more talking about how like again, I think this is a women thing. Like we try to give chances and we try to like force ourselves to try. And then when it doesn't work out, I guess what I'm saying is I always get the clarity that I made the right decision to end things
yeah,
or that this wasn't the right person.
yeah.
Like whether it happens before it's over or after it's over, I don't look back in any of my situations and think that I made the wrong decision.
It's very wise. Something that's somewhat related, but I think about very often is that the term of red flag, because I always think as humans, we're so flawed, so there are infinite number of red flags, but
Yeah.
how many green flags could there be? So I'm sure you have red flags, I'm sure I have red flags, I'm sure everyone has some sort of red flag. And I think about that when someone to cancel something out and say that's a red flag, done. Where to draw the line? What sort of red flags can we live with and what sort of red flags can we not live with?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's all balanced. And I'm hoping that since I've had so much clarity on the wrong people, that they're the wrong decision, when the right person comes, I'm also gonna have the clarity that he's the right person.
Yeah.
The right person hasn't come yet, so I haven't had that clarity. But I have faith that it will be because I've gotten the clarity that I made the right call on the wrong people. I think the clarity will come when it is the right person.
The funniest thing is that a lot of people are going to continue to go out with the same people that we had bad experiences with. Like, especially that guy I was saying before in the beginning who went out with so many people that I know.
Yeah.
He, he's just going to continue giving people more stories.
Yeah. It's and that's why we have this podcast.
So people could have come on this podcast and told stories about him.
Yeah. It's possible. And honestly, if you have a story about this guy, please come on the podcast.
So I could listen to it and say, "Oh, I went out with the same guy too. He took a selfie and he wanted to work at a specific museum as a docent." Yeah.
So funny.
So I think I told you most of my stories. I don't have so many more crazy things. I have just weird things people have said and dating apps and whatnot.
Whatever you
But
want to share.
sure, sometimes I find on dating apps people ask inappropriate things. They jump the gun and they think sometimes they sometimes they ask for things that I would consider to be very inappropriate, and it's just a bit jarring to me
Yeah. It's kind
because
of gross.
as a from girl, from woman, just I find it very jarring and I find it unsettling that someone would think that I would even be willing to offer those things without even going on a date, let alone offer them in general.
Yeah.
And it's very offensive. And I just wonder about these things, what goes through people's minds when they say, "Hey, want to come over and watch a movie in my apartment in Long Island?" Or, "Hey, if I come to New York City, are your roommates going to be home?" Like a murderer would also ask if my roommates are going to be home.
Yeah.
So
No, it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And like these guys just think that we'll do whatever.
I wonder if people are doing that. Or
I'm
like I'm
sure
saying,
there are.
I wonder if they've had success in this method in the past
Not
and
much.
continue to do it. Like, just how could someone think that that's an okay thing to say to someone when you don't know them and haven't even asked where they're from or what they do for a living? And
Yeah. They just, I don't know. It's crazy because if they actually put in effort and treated a woman properly and put the work in and had a girlfriend and whatever, they would get what they wanted probably.
probably, like, there's a reason people are swiping on them on the apps. Their pictures are nice, or they say they have a nice career or whatever. But then once they open their mouths and start writing things, it's just wow.
Yeah, they just want this like low effort. It's hookup culture, and I don't know. I'm very anti hookup
I'm
culture.
also anti-hookup culture, and it's so offensive as a woman. Um, yeah, that's all. One time on a dating app, it was J Swipe, and the guy asked the first thing I matched with him, and he writes, "Are you Jewish?" My first and last name are Jewish names, so I just like
What? Was he Jewish?
yeah, it seemed like
Would
it.
you not be Jewish if you're on J-Swipe? And you probably have Orthodox kosher. Like, who's lying about being Jewish when they say they're Orthodox kosher?
And also, my first and last name, especially combined together, it's clearly Jewish.
Yeah, also, it's a Jewish dating app. I have found non-Jews on J-Swipe though.
Oh, really? So fine. So maybe he wasn't so far off,
No,
but
no, no. But I'm just like, why are you on J-Swipe? Like,
yeah.
this is a Jewish app. I actually told a guy, I'm like, it's actually really misleading because I'm like, a lot of people on here are only on here to look for Jews because dating within our own religion is very important to us.
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. It reminded me. My coworker, my colleague, I speak with him every single day and work very closely together. So he's on, he one day we're just talking about something related to work, just some technical thing in Excel, very professional. And then sometimes we just ask each other things. So he asked me, he said, "Hey, Basi, what is a Besheret?" And so he's this lovely man, great professional, great person to work with, great guy. He's Latino and he's gay. And he's on this Jewish Facebook matchmaking site. This Jewish Facebook
Why?
matchmaking site. He was saying that his whole life he's always known he wanted to marry a Jewish man because he knows the Jews treat people with respect. and he's always wanted to marry a Jewish man, so he's on the Jewish matchmaking site. And he shared a screen, and apparently he had this pulled up on his work screen. He's a hilarious guy. Very happy to work with him. And he showed me all the things that people were writing, and he writes, "What is Eshet Shayal?" And like Eshet Chayal.
Ishachaya.
And I was laughing so much because it was just my worlds colliding because I've never seen anyone bring this up in a work setting.
Yeah.
And it was so funny, but he was on the Jewish matchmaking site to try to find a Jewish husband for himself.
So funny.
So funny. Hilarious guy.
Hilarious.
Same guy, someone puts in our team's chat, what he's eating for lunch. Just the work chat, people will say, okay, we got this billing from our client, and then he'll write below it, guys, the Taco Bell, whatever they have there, incredible. 5 for 1 or whatever deal it is. And I don't know, I keep kosher, so it doesn't affect me. But he puts it in the work chat.
It's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
I love that.
I love it too. It's good. It's good to be casual. But yeah, pretty funny that we're talking about non-Jews in the Jewish house.
But it's funny that he thinks that Jewish men treat people with respect. He should meet the modern Orthodox boys in our community.
I also didn't even tell him about homophobia in the Jewish community because I obviously wasn't gonna bring that up. But he could figure that out
I
for
think
himself.
the modern community, it's a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's totally better
It's
there.
like, yeah, definitely in the Orthodox world, but like, I think the more modern end of it is more open-minded. At
Yeah.
least I like to think that. I mean, unfortunately, I'm heterosexual, but
Unfortunately, it's good.
unfortunately, but yeah, also like heated rivalry is on the rise. So,
Every Shabbos meal I've been at in the past 2 months have brought that show up.
oh, I mean, I dressed up for heated rivalry for Purim. I rewatch it all the time. I bought an HBO Max subscription just so I could rewatch it for my mental health. I read the books. I'm obsessed. So, I mean, maybe my sexuality is gay hockey player.
I mean, they're definitely getting a large audience to watch that show.
Yeah.
I've never watched it, but it's definitely popping.
Honestly, if a guy tells me he watched Heated Rivalry, it's a green flag because that means he's comfortable in his masculinity.
I think you're right.
Yeah, so okay, over Purim, I had a jersey. I dressed up with my friend, but we were at different events, but we were the two main guys. I was Ilya Rozanov, and all the girls came up to me. They're like, "We love your costume." And I was standing near this girl and she was with a group of guys. She's like, "I love your costume." She's like, "I made all of them watch it." I was like, "You know what? That's a green flag energy. That means they're comfortable in their masculinity, non-toxic masculinity." So, gentlemen, if you want to impress a woman, just watch Heater. Oh, also, I went up to this guy who was dressed as like colonial times, and I was like, "Are you dressed as Bridgerton?" And he's like, "You're like the fifth person to ask me that." I was like, "You should just say yes." I'm like, "If anyone asks you, say that you're Anthony Bridgerton." He's like, "Isn't that a girl show?" And I was like, "Don't you want things to talk about with girls?" Like, guys, we don't want to talk about sports. Do you know how many guys I see on dating apps who are like, oh, major sports fan, and like they just want to talk about sports? Like, no, watch Bridgerton, watch Heated Rivalry,
Yeah.
watch Love is Blind. Like, that's what the girls want to talk about.
Is he a robbery? Do mostly women watch it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I think my coworker watches it, but he's gay, so
I mean, that would make sense.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just like that's my tidbit of advice for guys. If you want something to talk, like girls don't want, I mean, some girls want to talk about sports. Most women don't want to talk about sports.
I don't.
I don't. The only sports I want to talk about is heated rivalry. Because there's hockey in that, but like I know nothing more about hockey and I'm great with that. I want to talk about Shane and Ilya, the two main characters on Heated Rivalry.
Yeah.
So before we get too off topic, Bossy, do you have any other stories or anything else you want to share before we get to the wrap up segment?
I think I told you all my main stories. Anything that was a story, I think I've covered.
Okay, great. So let's get to the wrap up segment. So we've been talking a lot, and I know we've given advice here and there, but Bossy, can you give me and my listeners one piece of dating advice?
Yes, absolutely. So I think I would say never settle. Never know your worth. Have confidence. Don't give time to people who are so not worth your time, don't settle. I think that this is just a theory. I haven't actually proven it, but I think that maybe being confident like that and showing that you have confidence and you won't waste your time, maybe that could be more attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my piece of dating advice. What do you think?
No, I think it's good dating advice.
Yeah, and honestly, I know people who, yeah, I do know people who have settled. I know people who have gotten married at 19, being terrified that they become an old maid or all these things. And people are worth so much more than they give themselves credit for. People are worth
Yeah.
so much, so don't settle.
Also, like being single isn't like the worst thing in the world.
I agree. I think there are much worse things than being single.
Yeah. Again, like I said before, I'd rather be the person that everyone's like, how is she still single than the in a couple being like, why is she with him?
I mean, they're gonna judge no matter what.
Yeah, but but like you get the gist.
What if you how'd you feel like what are your thoughts on the reverse of instead of people saying why is she with him, it would be like you date someone who like you strike gold and
They're
people are
like, how did she get him?
not because there's
Or
anything
why
not
her?
reflective, yeah, not reflective of you, but just if you find someone who is just very hot and rich and all
And
these
I
things.
don't think that highly of men, so I think that like I'm always gonna be the prize. But I just want someone who's like on my level and we'll get to what we're looking for. But yeah, I want equal bearing. That's why I'm looking for someone medium ugly.
What? What does that mean?
Like I'd rather a guy who's medium ugly but has a good job and like good traits as a person, but like just a little bit medium ugly.
I've gone out with people who I thought were pretty ugly and I
Not pretty ugly.
I couldn't handle
Just like
it.
medium ugly. Like I don't need the hottest guy in the room.
Yeah, I don't either.
I just need someone like to me, I'd rather have someone who treats me like a queen and has a good job than
Yeah.
someone who's hot.
And I think I find personality a lot more important than looks.
Yeah.
Looks matter, and anyone's lying if they tell you looks don't matter at all.
Yeah.
But I think that personality is what really makes it or breaks it of someone I'm attracted to. And that
Yeah.
could grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, like, again, I would like someone cute, but if he's a little medium ugly, but has everything else, that's fine. I'm cute enough for the two of us, and our kids will be
That's
adorable.
right. That's right.
Kids will be adorable.
Yeah.
Also, like, my type, my quote unquote type, which, like, I date guys who look totally different from all like, each other, but, like, I don't know, I'm not into, like, the hottest guy in the room. I don't need the most, like, jacked built guy. I like him a little chubby
I've
or
also
short or a little bald. I don't care.
I've also found that sometimes from people I've known personally, sometimes the hottest guy in the room might not always have the best midot. Like they might not be
Yeah.
the nicest person, might be a bit arrogant, they might think so highly of themselves that they're obnoxious and not someone that I would want to spend time with, let alone date.
Yeah. I
Agree.
agree.
Yeah.
So I guess this is a good time to get to what Basi is looking for. So my new segment is asking any of my guests who are single what their three things that they're looking for in someone and three deal breakers. So like basically three things that they want and three things that they don't want. So
Yeah.
Bossy, what are your three things that you want and three things that you don't want?
Three things that I want are I want someone who's ambitious and hardworking. That doesn't mean that necessarily that they have to make a bajillion dollars, but I want stability and also someone who works hard and puts effort into things and tries to strive hard to succeed in whatever that means, whether that's rising up in the corporate ladder or saving lives or starting a nonprofit. I want someone who puts their energy and effort into things and is always looking to improve and work hard. I want someone who has a good sense of humor. I think this is very important. I like when people can make me laugh. So please make me laugh. It's the most straightforward way to my heart. Next, looking for someone who's committed to Judaism, which seems very basic, but it's not. Becoming more and more rare. Keeping Shabbat and kosher is very important to me. So just someone who's on the same page as that would be great. As for deal breakers, I think a huge deal breaker for me is someone, if they're misogynistic, they are sexist or say things, and that goes along the same lines of the general umbrella of being disrespectful. So being disrespectful to service workers or women or minorities or anyone. I don't like the disrespect, and it's not my thing. Treat everyone with respect and don't think of women in degrading manners. Lastly, for my third thing, I would say a big deal breaker for me is bad hygiene. If you don't smell good, I don't want to be around you. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. I just don't want to be around you. So, yeah.
Those are all good.
What do you think?
Okay, so I'm gonna say mine. So top thing that I'm looking for, and guys, remember, I will give you shotkanas and you'll be invited to my wedding. But we're on a campaign to get me married this year. Or to meet my husband this year so I can get married next year.
Amen.
Amen. So, okay, what I'm looking for, the three things. First and foremost, I guess the best way to sum it up is a mensch. I just need a really kind, good person, someone who's respectful and thoughtful and considerate, treats everyone nicely, but is also just going to treat me really, really nicely.
I think you articulated that a lot better than I did, but what she said,
Yeah.
she said.
Don't worry, this is like the third episode that I've done this, so we'll see. I'll get better at it as we go because I'm going to say it every episode. Get ready, guys.
Hey.
Number 2 is financially stable and responsible. We like a career-oriented king. Listen, I have a good job. I work really hard, and I want someone who is at my level.
Yes.
So, yeah, but that also comes with financial responsibility. I don't need someone who's like blowing all their money on sports betting or
Yes.
other dumb things. So, yeah, financially literate. I mean, I'm an accountant, so I'm very financially literate.
You do the taxes, you just don't want them to take out thousands of dollars in credit card debt.
Oh, yeah, there will be no credit card debt. Credit cards get paid off every month.
Yes.
And a good personality. I guess this could go with a mensch. Like, I just want someone with a good, like, who has a personality. I have a huge personality. They don't have to be like the loudest person in the room. They just like they need to be able to hang.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
For me, they should be funny or at least be able to handle my shenanigans
Oh,
and laugh at my.
you guys should know that he's not going to be funnier than me. Unlike Basi, I do not have a requirement that I need someone to make me laugh because I make myself laugh and I will make you laugh. I'm the funny one. I just need someone with like a little bit of a personality. Like I can't be with someone super, super boring. Okay, and then my deal breakers are no unhealthy habits. So when I say that, it's like no smoking, no excessive drinking, no drugs, those kinds of things. And also like has a balanced lifestyle when it comes to like eating and exercising. I tend to eat pretty healthy, but like I'll also share fries with you. I exercise, but like we can also eat ice cream. Like just like a healthy balance of things, but yeah, no unhealthy habits like smoking and you have to value your body. My other deal breaker is no old sperm. So that just means age appropriate. So I'm willing to date within I prefer dating around my own age. I'm 32. I'll date up or down. I don't want someone who's like super old. If I had to put numbers on it, I would say 27 to 36. But like I don't know. I feel like I get along best with people who are in like 2 to 3 years within 2 to 3 years of my own age, up or down. I do like younger guys. I should say that. Not like super young, but like if you have a 30-year-old for me, I'm happy with that. 29, great. 34, great. Around my own age. And then number 3 is also what Bossy says. I need someone who is on my religious level. I am at the very modern end of modern Orthodox. I'm okay to go a little bit if he's a little bit more religious, as long as he respects what I do. A little bit less religious in certain ways, yeah, like I keep full Shabbos, I keep full kosher for the most part. So I want someone who's around there. If it's someone who like eats dairy out, like that's fine as long as he's gonna respect what I do and not try to bring me down in my level of religion. But Shabbos is something that's really important to me. So yeah. So those are my deal breakers.
I think ours were very similar to each other in some
Yes.
ways. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel like a lot of people have similar things,
I know, and yet it's
but
so hard to
I
find.
know, and it's like the bare minimum. It's
I
crazy,
know. The
right?
standard is on the floor. It's on the
I know
ground. The
it's
bar is on the ground. Yes.
bars in hell. But yeah, anyway, so if anyone has anyone for Bossy, please reach out. I'm happy to try to set it up. And guys, let's get me married. So please send me your suggestions. I'm turning to you, Sticky Situation Nation, because I don't know where else to turn. So I'm turning to you. And Bossy, last but not least, what is your tagline?
My tagline is I couldn't color inside the lines, so I just painted all over them. I made my own.
I like that. That's so cute.
Thank you. I love that. I love that.
It's like that. It's just like I'm me. I'm me, and if you don't, oh, it's like I'm me, and if you don't like that, I don't care.
Yeah. So I would sum up what I'm looking for, just sentence. It's to sum up all the things. It's real keep Shabbos is nice and respectful and makes me laugh.
That's all she's looking for. So if you know someone who fits that, or if you fit that, please reach out. We're trying to help people because why not? Why not help people? But anyway, Bossy, thank you so much for coming on. This was so much fun.
Thank you, Rachel. This was a pleasure. I had a blast.
Of course, I did too. And Sticky Situation Nation, you'll catch me next time. Bye, everybody.